This is One-on-One.
That's good acting, man.
I get that a lot. I go to Atlantic City all the time, like, are you the guy? I go, no, I'm not.
This is one you can't afford to miss.
They thought that I wouldn't survive it, but I knew I would.
And visit us online at oneonone.org.
You're looking at Chris Dessi, Managing Partner, Drive Action Digital. Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks
What
for
is
having
Drive
me.
Action Digital?
Drive Action Digital is a digital marketing firm. We work with brands as well as individuals. We consult in how to have those individuals execute in the digital marketplace. So it's website development, social media, affiliate marketing, banner advertising, things of that nature, all online.
And we should give credit to our mutual friend and colleague over at Fox 5. A good day, Jason.
Yeah, Jason Hartilius. He's the man. He's exceptional, phenomenal producer.
Executive producer at Good Day, New York. He said that we should have a conversation because what's interesting is he said you're natural on the air, and you talk about this stuff in a way that people. What are you mugging for the camera for when I say that? Only I mug for the camera.
Come on, I'm like mini you. All right, isn't there?
What does that mean? What does that mean? You mean younger me?
I
know what
to
you
be
mean.
just like you. Come on, that's nice.
Really?
Italian guy from the tri-state, right? I'm an Italian guy from
Where'd
New
you
York.
grow up?
I grew up in Mayapack, New York.
What
Blue collar, very Italian American town, Putnam County, just north of Westchester County. Great town. Good people.
Where you grew up, right? In Putnam.
Yeah.
Was the digital thing big?
Not at all.
Are you
kidding me? No way. Know who told me about it? My father. My father was an executive, digital marketing executive, direct marketing, and his years at Avon was the mid to late 90s.
Right.
And in 1993, I went away to college, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, you need to get an email address, man. Stop, we need to talk." And I was like, "Email address? I don't get it." So I went home for Thanksgiving break, and my father actually drew a map and said, "All right, this is the internet. Here's what an email address is. Here's how you have to engage it." So my father was the early adopter.
Way ahead of his time.
Way ahead of his time, teaching his meathead freshman kid. He's wasting all this money sending me to school, and I'm like, "What's an email?" Yeah.
And so what's interesting here is that as you continue to do this work, you go out and you help people brand themselves. You're actually saying something to me. I said to you, I'm conflicted about this.
Right.
I'm not a Twitter person.
Right.
Our Facebook thing is embarrassing because we had a producer a while back. You guys know who our producers know her. She's not with us anymore. We had a Facebook producer, or we had a producer who had managed my Facebook, and she put some stuff up there that I thought was too personal about my family. I don't want that stuff up there.
Okay.
I want to talk about I'm doing Good Day. I got an article out. I'm doing a speech somewhere.
Right.
I don't want to talk about my family. I don't want to talk about my kids.
You don't have to.
But why do people think that it has to be so personal? And they're not my friends, by the way. I love you guys. Glad you watched. But you're not my friends. And I'm not your friend. Why do we use the word friends?
It's about making a connection,
Go ahead.
right? You've written books about it.
I wrote a book called Making the Connection.
Okay, so you want to have some sort of relationship. The people that are watching the show, the people that are reading your books, you may not consider them friends, but you need to give them
Not
a
enemies,
glimpse. You want to give them a glimpse into your world. So you mentioned your Facebook page. You haven't posted since last year, and the only content that you were posting, you're pushing content. Check out my article
What should
here.
I be doing?
Check out engaging. Ask questions. What do you think about my article here? What do you think about what happened here? I'm really upset about this. This enraged me. Doesn't it enrage you? You're starting a conversation. When you start a conversation with somebody, you don't show up and say, "Hey, check out my cool burnt orange tie and look at my nice new suit."
I actually think you may be insulting me on my own show. This segment doesn't actually
not
have to,
at all.
doesn't have to air, but
beautiful tie.
but what's interesting is you're saying, instead of saying, "Hey, look at my stuff," you're saying, "Hey, I was thinking about XYZ. We did a segment with Chris. Check out the segment and write to me and tell me what you think."
Nailed it.
What does that do, in all seriousness, what does it do for our brand, our company, our business?
Does everything that having a relationship with anybody within the business world does for your brand, your business. It brings everybody closer. It gives other opportunities that will bubble up. So, for example, you mentioned your Twitter account.
Right.
When I found out that I was coming here, I was thrilled. I Googled you. I was researching. I'm looking at all your spots. I saw your commencement speech at Montclair High School. I was like, this guy is unbelievable. Like the hair stood up on the back of my neck during your speech.
I'm sorry. What was it again? This guy's what?
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
But what does that have to do with social media?
Because when I wanted to reach out to you and say, "Can't wait to see you in the studio," I tweeted to you, and it was like the tumbleweed and caw, like no response.
Hold on.
So I found you on Twitter and
Go
I
ahead.
said, can't wait to meet you. You didn't respond because you weren't listening. So
I didn't know you did that.
Because you're not checking this stuff out. You're
Should
not
I be
monitoring
doing
this
that?
Absolutely, sure.
Oh, come on. What am I, Ashton Kutcher? He got in trouble doing that.
Listen,
but
you can-
should I, seriously, is that the job? Here's what's bad. I will delegate that stuff. And I'm in no way am I
fine.
trying to imply that I'm too good to do it. I don't mean that at all. Steve Barcy, our camera guy, stop laughing when I'm saying this. Because if you tweeted me and I knew you tweeted me, I wouldn't even respond. But here's what I'm getting at. I have staff people manage certain accounts because I don't want to be that engaged. I'm not saying about you.
That's fine.
But if you're going to do it, do you have to do it yourself is my question.
I would recommend that you at least understand the social ecosystem, so you understand why you're doing it. So you led with the question, why am I doing this? Now you understand why I should be doing it, so I can
No
have
dangers, though?
Of course there are
Don't wanna-
dangers. Of course there are dangers.
Go ahead.
Curate your own content, right? So if you're talking to your team and you're saying, listen, you're going to manage my Twitter account, you're going to manage my Facebook account,
Right.
you're having weekly meetings on the type of content and information that you want to put out there. You want to be able to own the content. So the commencement speech at Montclair, maybe you have a YouTube channel, maybe you have that speech, and then maybe you comment about it. Maybe you say, you know, I wasn't going to end talking about the police officer, but when I met the police officer before I went out, she got me choked up. And something happened.
That's
Like
actually talking about part of the speech, which is interesting. You're saying you could add to what you do. I don't want to make this
Add some flavor
about
to
me,
it.
but you're saying you're using this as an example.
Add some flavor to the content that you're putting out there. Add some you.
So,
right?
so
this
say
is
for an
the
argument's
power
sake,
of it.
we do something on Good Day New York on Fox 5. We're plugging our friends enough, right?
Yeah.
So
good to us, so
but they are good to us. You go on there, and I say I'm doing something. I'm doing a lot on the presidential campaign. I say something about Gingrich or Obama or Romney, whomever, and I say, take a look at this clip. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Is that really?
Why not?
Because what happens if it keeps going?
It's okay. It's a conversation. The key. So, I spoke through our good friend Greg Kelly from Good Day
Oh,
New
Greg's
York.
the best.
Greg had me speak on the Intrepid to some military personnel. And
Great work he's doing there.
my business partner and I discussed this, and we said, what are 3 main messages? So my business partner, Anthony Zarro, says, all right, let's figure this out. It's everything has changed, engage or die, and convene, don't control, okay? So everything has changed. Media has changed. People now aren't just consuming media, they're producing media. That's everything has changed.
Right.
The engage or die is ask questions. Because if you don't start asking questions, that audience, your potential current audience, they're going to go elsewhere to the person that's engaging with them and asking for their feedback. Because now they're expecting that. It's just social media has changed.
Right.
And the convene, don't control is create an environment where your fans, the people that are interested in Steve Adubato's message, can have a conversation about the things that interest you and the things that get you going, that ignite passion in you. Because 9 times out of 10, if something's important enough for you to write a piece about it and important enough for you to speak in front of a group about it, it's going to be a really fascinating conversation. If you get into part of that conversation that's happening, think about the content and think about the relationships. Then you have context. Then when you meet this person offline instead of just online, they've seen that video that you put out. They know where you're coming from. They know your opinion. They know what type of content that you're going to generate, and they're going to love meeting you. They're going to give you a hug when they meet you.
Why don't you just have your own show all about social media?
I would love to. Let's set it up.
No, I'm saying it's like
Yeah.
There's so much. And by the way, while Facebook and Twitter are real hot right now, there's a lot of stuff coming down. The new technology, new ways to connect, new ways to engage.
Yep.
By the way, next time you come back, we'll talk about a lot of other issues. You talked about social media and politics, social media in terms of grassroots organizations. Chris Dessi has been talking about. Look at the Middle East. Look at what's going on
Arab
over there.
Spring.
The protests there, the Occupy Wall Street. Listen, you are good. I want to thank our good friend Jason for bringing us together at Good Day New York at Fox 5. We plug because we just want more airtime there. Hey, listen, thank you so much. Good
It was
job.
great meeting you.
Anytime.
Thanks for having me. I
Folks,
appreciate it.
one-on-one. Listen, Twitter me. I may be responding. Facebook, the whole thing's going to change. I'm feeling it right now. Thank you, Chris. We'll be right back after this.
If you would like more information on this program, or if you'd like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org and visit us online at oneonone.org.